Hi everyone. Well, today I'm going to teach you guys how to adjust the AXV valve. Sometimes you get machines that won't freeze, one side won't freeze and the other side struggling to freeze, and then both sides don't freeze at all, and you'll trigger error 3. So the AXV valve needs to be balanced and adjusted. Stoelting says that you don't have to adjust them, that it's set for life, but yeah, that's bad information. So this is how I will show you guys how to adjust it. So these are the tools that you need. First you need a flashlight, Phillips screwdriver to take off the panels, 1/4 inch ratchet with a 3/8 inch socket, and a single test gauge. This one's probably the most important tool you'll need because that's how you'll get the readings. Okay, as you can see, I removed the back panel and then the left panel. You don't have to remove this left panel from the back looking at it. You don't have to remove the left panel, but then it makes it easier to access the AXV valves when you're adjusting it. So you guys see in that red cap back there, underneath the red cap is the AXV valve. Let me try to put my flashlight in here and see. So this one in here, and then on the other side is right over here. So you'll need to remove those caps, and that's where you will adjust each side. And then down in here is where you're going to attach the manifold gauge. All right, so sometimes they get tucked in. You just slowly pull it out just a little bit so you could get your gauge in there. Unscrew that and put the manifold gauge on. Okay, so back to this. So that's that right there, the top one. There's a bottom one and a top one. The top one is the one you want to remove. Okay, so you just want to take off the valve stem that's covering it. Put it somewhere where you won't lose that. And you have my gauge right now showing 0. And then you just want to like twist this in. All right, so I'm gonna put my phone down so I could twist this in. Okay, got my gauge on there. All right, another important thing is you want to do this while the machines are not frozen, not on serve 2. Okay, so you've probably seen your techs do this before. They'll run it on clean cycle a few times to melt the yogurt. I like doing it first thing in the morning, so the machines have been on sleep overnight, the yogurt's melted. That'll help you get more accurate readings on this. All right, so I'm gonna try to remove these caps in here, and these caps pretty much just pull out. Okay, they just like push in there and you just pull it out. You try to get this with the phone in my hand. Okay, there's one. See, that's all it is. Let me get this side out. Okay. And then you can kind of see both of them right back in there. Okay, so now I'm going to adjust this farther one on that end. And while I'm doing that, I'm actually going to turn off the right hand flavor, the second flavor. All right, I'm going to put this on pause. All right, so you see here's the initial reading right there. So I'm gonna hit push to freeze now, and then you'll see that gauge move. The machine's pushing to freeze, and as soon as you hear the solenoid click, start seeing it move. You see it drop. So that's what's gonna tell you your pressure. It's freezing. So that's set to about 24. That's a little bit on the high side. The recommendations are 18 to 22. Several years back, my tech said 23 is ideal. All right, so I'm gonna set that. That's actually on 26. All right, so I'm gonna set that down, and I'm gonna grab your ratchet. And when you're adjusting that back there, you just want to turn a little at a time. Wait a few seconds. Read the gauge, okay? Because it takes time for the pressure to change. So I'll make sure I'm doing it the right way. So you just want to put this on here. I'm just gonna make sure it's seated and then just turn a little bit, about 1/8 of a turn, and then see it change. Not changing, so slowly going down a little bit. So I'm gonna 1/8 of a turn down. Going down. I went back up a little bit. Maybe I'm going the wrong way. Try that again. I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go the other way upwards. See if it changes. Oh, okay. Now I'm going the right way. So I turned it down. I want to dial it down to 23 because if one side's too high and the other side's too low, that's your problem. So what happened with this machine yesterday was the size chocolate. Chocolate kept getting to serve 2 and freezing. Vanilla was struggling. Alright, so I'm gonna dial it down a little bit more. Going down a little bit. One more turn. That's at about 23 right now. All right, that's ideally where you want to be. All right, so I'm gonna let that get to freeze. I'll pause it for now. All right, looking at the bars up there, so it should be getting to serve 2 soon. And as soon as it gets to serve 2, it should click off. The solenoid will click off on that. And then you'll just see the gauge like jump back. You hear the solenoid? It's sucking in the pressure. And then over time that thing's just gonna shoot back up to 30 as it sits there. Because there's a suction going on in the system, shut off the refrigerant. Alright, so that's one side. I'm going to put this on pause and get ready for the other side. Alright, I'm about to hit push to freeze on the right hand side. Oops, trying to do it blind, I hit the off button. So I hit push to freeze. You see, heard the solenoid click on, and you see this side was under 20. So there you have, that was what my issue was yesterday. The machines, the valves are off balance, so chocolate was pulling all the refrigerant, the chilling, and vanilla was struggling. So I'm gonna set this up to 23 as well. Let me get my wrench. I'm gonna change the back side. Okay. Put it in here. And I'm gonna adjust it a few times. Two turns. 3 turns. once you turn it, you want to wait like 10 or 15 seconds before you turn it again. See how slow this gauge moves up. Side was really low. That was what's causing my machine issues yesterday. I have to tell the team to put chocolate on sleep, flip the sign, and then freeze up vanilla until it gets to serve 2. But once somebody uses it, it starts all over again. One more turn should do it. Set at 23, and that's ideally where you want it set. All right, especially on during the upcoming busy season. You know, you want to have these balanced so that the machine can keep up with each other. Otherwise, as one side is freezing and the other side is freezing, you know, it's going back and forth, and then the one with the higher pressure, as you saw earlier with the chocolate had the higher pressure, was normal. It kept getting to serve 2. But vanilla never got served too, especially once people use it. So I find that the chocolate and vanilla machine and the cake batter machine and my tart machine are the ones I have to adjust most often. I usually do it once a year during the spring to get ready for like our busy season. And periodically, if I start getting machine issues, I'll just do this quick test, plug in the gauge, I hit push and freeze and see where they're at. If they're off balance, I just set it. So, you know, with all the explanations and things like that, what is it? It's taken me about 10 minutes. So, typically, that should be about, you know, under 10 minutes to set these. All right. So after that, you want to put your caps back on. Just push it back in. So let me push it back in. You want to line it up. Push it back in. Just use your thumb. Use your thumb to push it in, and then make sure. Okay, on this side I gotta use my fingers. Don't have to push that hard, you know. It's just like a thing to prevent water, stuff, the yogurt. You see the trays are right above it from dripping in there and then corroding it. Because if you corrode that valve, yeah, it's gonna be a pretty penny to change out that valve, just because they have to do a lot of soldering into these lines and remove the old valve, and you will have to recharge your system. So it'll cost over $1,000 just to replace one of these. And if you're replacing one of them, you might as well do both of them, since you have to recharge your system. Okay. And while you're in here, give everything a wipe down. You know, I've been to some stores where there's yogurt all over the place, you know, so this is ideally how it should be. Nice and clean. All right. Over here you'll see belt dust, and you can't, doesn't look like anything, but watch this. Just take a rag. Woo. Look at all that belt dust, because that's from here. So just give everything a wipe while you're in here, and then check. See, this one needs to be tightened down. This one seems okay. This one, you see there's more play in here. So I'm tightening down that screw. So there's another video I did for belt adjustment and belt changing, and I'll link all that up in our owners group. All right, so there you have it. Put your panels back on, and you should have some worry-free issues for at least, I'm saying, 6 to 8 months. All right, but like I said earlier, I mainly check it once a year unless I'm having machine issues, and I usually check everything in my machines in March before we get into the busy season. All right, because downtime is a bad time during our busy season. All right, that's it. Disclaimer, I have no responsibility on what you do. This is just advice and information on how to adjust the AXV valve, and not too bad. Let me know if you have any questions. Signing out.